is hosting. Okay, nope, okay, back. Okay. I was almost about to just like literally go into the guts of it, and I was like, oh wait, no, I have to greet you. Hello, welcome. Hey everyone, welcome back to the server-side rendering with JavaScript Frameworks series. Today we're going to take the app we made in the last video, which was with Nuxt and Vue JS on Firebase hosting, and we're going to profile it with the Chrome DevTools and Webpagetest. We're going to take a look at how fast it loads and when the app becomes interactive. So let's dive down to the laptop and get started. So here I have the app in Chrome, and I'm going to open up the DevTools to inspect the performance. So in the network panel, I want to throttle to a fast 3G connection and then make sure the cache is disabled. So now I'm going to click on performance and then hit this little refresh button, which will start the profiling. So now when that finishes, we have this nice little film strip of screenshots and the network waterfall below. And I'm going to highlight everything up until about 1500 milliseconds. So we can actually now go and inspect what happened on load. So you can see that our HTML took about 9 milliseconds to return, which is really, really fast. However, we have all of these assets after that. So we have JavaScript, CSS, and everything. And if we take a look, we can see that the longest asset was almost a second in loading. And if we go down to the main thread, we can see that we have this evaluate script block. And that's saying that at this point, the main thread of the browser was just crushing through all of this script. It's only after this script that we consider this application to be interactive. So this is just a throttled connection on my laptop. So rather than just do sort of this, little test, I'd rather do a real test on a real device. So to do that, I'm going to go out to Webpagetest. So I'm going to enter in my URL, and then I'm going to go down to advanced settings, where I'm going to change it to slow 3G. And I'm going to then make sure that the browser is set to Moto G4 Chrome. So it's on a mobile device. Now I'm going to start the test. And when it's done, you can see that the load time came back at 1.7 seconds, which is pretty good. And if you look at the first byte came in just under a second. We didn't start rendering till 1.3 seconds, and it was an interactive in around 2 seconds. So to see more details, I'm going to go and click on the film strip view. So I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of the film strip, and you can see that right about 670 milliseconds is when the HTML finished, but we couldn't render until the CSS finished, which took 215 milliseconds after the HTML was finished. So actually, we could have done this a little faster maybe if we inlined the CSS. But you can see right here that after the 215 milliseconds are up, there's this big purple block at the bottom. And that right there is the browser laying out the site. And then once that's done, we have our site rendered in at about 1.4 seconds. Now we saw that the interactive happened at around 2 seconds, but our film strip stops at about 1.4 seconds. So we can't really see what's going on with the JavaScript execution. So when this happens, I actually go back to the main page. And in the main page, I now go to this timeline button. And this timeline is effectively the Chrome DevTools for this run. So what I can do here is I can take a look at the network request. You can see that it took about 660 milliseconds to get the HTML back. Then we have all of our JavaScript assets and our CSS. And that took about 760 milliseconds for the heaviest one to come back. And you can see down here that we have the evaluate script block, and it finishes right before 2 seconds. And we know that after this, it's all quiet. There's nothing else on the main thread. So right around 2 seconds is when this app becomes interactive. So you can see that evaluating when the JavaScript actually executes is really important in determining when the app becomes interactive. So while we do get our HTML first, and we get that really fast first meaningful paint, we have to look to see when that JavaScript finishes, because that's when the user can actually interact with the application. But that's all for today. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. I can see you zooming in so deep. Last video is which was with Hey everyone, welcome to the